there goes one of the worst nightmares of every resident in Toronto. And that is a shuttle bus. And hey there, it is Saturday, December 14th, 5:30 p.m. is the time, and the temperature is about -1 degree Celsius, although with the wind chill, apparently it is closer to -9, so it's another freezing cold night here in Toronto. And this is Yonge Street. I'm not too far from where I live in Midtown. We're just south of Broadway Avenue. And I needed to make my way downtown, and I looked out my window and I could get a glimpse of Yonge Street, and I saw a bus go by, and I thought, oh, it's probably the 97. So look over at Grazie Restaurant. That can be a place where you most definitely need a reservation most nights to get a table. And then I saw a number of other buses, and I typed TTC service alerts into Google, and surprise, surprise, there is no service this weekend. I think between York Mills and St Clair Station. There goes another shuttle bus. So rather than stick to my original plan, which is hop on the subway, head downtown, make a video, then meet some friends for drinks and dinner, I'm just going to record the walk from Eglinton down to St Clair Station. There's Absolute Comedy, the Rosencrown, and Pie, a trio of fantastic places. All sharing a building, and for this one we're going to be listening to the rumble of the shuttle buses for pretty much the entire way. It should be about 2.5 kilometers. There's a number of people standing on that northbound bus. And this is Eglinton, just south of here. After years and years of construction, it's good to see this part of the sidewalk has finally opened up completely. It's a little sparse, just a few small trees. Could use some benches, maybe. But there's Eglinton Station over there. Oh, here's a car trying to turn right. They got honked at. Quebec license plate. So this intersection is pretty much the heart of Midtown Toronto.
Yeah, you should do that. Your spider actually went for Kettleman's, although Sergey and I also go everywhere.
And standing outside waiting for shuttle buses. Something transit riders, at least in this neighborhood, are certainly very used to. fact, 3 times last week, the signaling system on line 1 went down. Twice during the morning rush hour, creating quite the chaos, making students late for their exams, and tens of thousands more late for where they're going. I was going home one night when the signaling system went down. It caused some chaos, although that delay was only about 30 minutes or so. The area where you would wait to board a northbound shuttle bus is just up ahead. I think back in 2010, between 2010 and 2023, they were installing the new signaling system on line 1 to the tune of something like $562 million. And it brought with it the promise of increased service and reliability. It was supposed to be just train after train flowing in and out of the stations. There's people on and off a southbound shuttle bus. It's supposed to make the line operate a lot more efficiently and safely. Sorry, it's a little cold. I'm kind of stumbling over my words, but I would argue since the signaling system went in, things have never been worse on line 1. There seems to be constant delays and shutdowns. I don't commute regularly, but I do take the subway every day. And it seems several times a week I find myself just sitting on a train that's not moving, often getting delayed 15 to 20 minutes. And to make things worse, the TTC has, I think, 10 slow zones currently implemented, including line 1, where I'm walking now, where the trains sort of crawl painfully slowly through them. Although it's a bit inconsistent. Sometimes some trains move faster than others, and I don't think it has anything to do with how busy the trains are. I think it's just an inconsistency between the subway operators themselves in terms of how the slow zones are applied. And they say that's due to track maintenance issues. But slow zones have been in place on the network since early 2023. So hopefully this weekend's closure is addressing them.
Just how much you rent?
There's the line 1 shuttle bus. What's crazy is line 1 serves more people in a day than Highway 401, which is the busiest and widest highway in North America. On a typical day, line 1 serves around 800,000 riders, whereas the 401 sees less than 500,000 people pass through. I think that might be just over the top of Toronto. And the average commute from here to downtown. Whoa, what are you doing? Is about 15 or 20 minutes longer with all the recent problems. But the province seems to be putting all their eggs in the reducing congestion basket. Rather than funding the TTC. Apparently removing 3 bike lanes is going to make a difference, but not funding Line 1 operations or maintenance. That's the province for you, catering to suburban car-brained voters. They really cared about moving more people on time. It'd be upgrading the infrastructure and increasing the operating budget on Line 1 and Line 2. In fact, it was the Mike Harris government that pulled the plug on the Toronto Transit Commission's provincial funding. I think that made up for a little under 20% of its total operating budget. In fact, the TTC, I think, is the largest transit network in the entire world that gets most of its funding from the fare box. As this car runs a red light. There's the 97 bus. That one operates on Yonge Street, but it makes 4 stops between the stations. And other networks implement slow zones during maintenance. Those are usually just very short-lived temporary measures. But in Toronto, we've been dealing with these things for well over a year. I think the average motorist is subsidized to a far higher extent by the government, particularly the province, than the average transit rider, which shows you where their priorities lay. Hey, there's Little Sister. That's a great Indonesian fusion restaurant.
We'll go get a table.
This is the Yonge and Davisville area. But if there's a silver lining for me, at least, it's usually they have the gates wide open at St Clair. So I should be able to walk right on to the subway there. Although I don't think this weekend's closure would be addressing the slow zones around Rosedale Station. It seemed as if, at least during the pandemic, every other weekend, Line 1 was closed down to install the signaling system, as well as perform work on the Crosstown LRT. We have nothing to show for either of those efforts. In fact, I often said in my videos that our subway system on weekends is really a part-time system. pretty much every single weekend, a significant portion of it is closed down. Something most other subway systems don't have to endure, or rather, riders in other systems. This is where the Midtown bike lanes the province wants to remove begin, and they end down at Bloor Street. Really, it should go all the way up to Steeles, down to the lake. In the middle of the afternoon, there can often be a giant crowd of people waiting to board these shuttle buses as they cover the closed portion of the line. Well, we've gone the length of one subway stop, Eglinton to Davisville. There's the TTC's headquarters over there. Car getting honked at because it didn't want to run over pedestrians.
Yeah, they're pretty busy.
Good job, fuckface. Toronto drivers are particularly challenged when it comes to stopping before the line or just driving properly in general. Well, most are pretty good, but there's certainly a high percentage of them that have no business with a license. Sorry if this is kind of a negative video. I'm a little bit irked. I have to come out in the freezing cold and deal with shuttle buses. I guess I could have looked that up in advance of this. And I was going to make a video anyways, but I think I try to show what life is like on the streets in Toronto, and this is part of it. Well, that guy just went right through a stop sign. Didn't even try to slow down, let alone stop. I knew that guy was going to run that one too. Yet, if you ask people who drive, they'll say it's the cyclists who are menaces. Yet, cyclists have killed or seriously injured exactly no people over the last year in the city. How many people have been killed and injured by drivers? That number is well into the hundreds. That's why cars need insurance and bikes don't. They just have the capacity to injure or kill at a much higher degree. There's a number of parked trains on line 1. There's a mini train yard there at Davisville, and it's going to get a little lonely and quiet in this next stretch. I'm going to go into a bit of a valley alongside an elevated portion of the subway line. I'll be on the west side of Yonge Street, on the side that I'm on, the Mount Pleasant Cemetery. as we pass under the Kate Gardner Beltline Trail. It's possible I get to the station before the people in this shuttle bus do. Let's see, that's number 1402. You are cordially invited to a race, my friends. That's Mount Pleasant Cemetery on the left. It's not often you see many people walking along this stretch. I think the sight of shuttle buses has probably inspired this. There's our nemesis, 1402. Where the buses really get held up is making a left turn onto St. Clair. Probably gonna pick up a copyright strike from that car blasting tunes there. So we're approaching Yonge and St. Clair. Nestled in the Deer Park neighborhood. Whoops, I just stubbed my toe on a lip in the sidewalk. That wasn't fun. And it's back to civilization, pretty much. remember in years past, this church on the left had some nice Christmas lights up. That's something some people have commented in my videos, that there seems to be less Christmas cheer in the city this year. So, I definitely agree with that sentiment. I think it's these two trees right here that were both lit up nicely in the past. There's 1402. I think it's the second bus back. Or it might be 3 buses back. I can eat my dust. It's -1. Last night I did a live stream when it was -7. And I walked all the way from Yorkdale Mall to Yonge Eglinton. And it didn't feel as cold as it does now. There's a bit more of a breeze going on than last night. Yeah, that bus has no chance of overtaking me. And one of the things our provincial government said that should be implemented when they remove these bike lanes are alternate routes on side streets, but there is no alternate route that you could take to get up to where I started this from here. All right, that guy just looked at me like he was going to say something. But if there was, you could probably see shuttle buses routed to it. This is St Clair coming up. So the shuttle buses turn left here onto St Clair. I've got my headphones on. I have no idea what that guy said. Then they go around to the back side of the station where people board in the bus bays. Something I'm not looking forward to doing on my way back. Maybe I'll just take an Uber or Lyft home. Yes, let's just block the bike lane. It's not like someone just died here not too long ago. On their bike, no less. Looks like there's a couple of cops here just to keep things moving through the intersection. That bus I was racing is still way back there. The TTC tends to leave these gates propped open. Rather than head down there, let's go see what the lineup is like for the shuttle buses. That's where you'd board the 512 St Clair streetcar. There is planned weekend closure, York Mills to St Clair. So you would herd yourself through here. To wait for a shuttle bus. These people are probably not gonna have to wait too long, maybe 5-10 minutes or so.
Take bus.
But I need to head on to the subway.
Some money on the split. Yeah. Come back.
So on that note, I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts and comments down below. If you wish to support what I do on YouTube, there's links to my Patreon and YouTube channel membership down in the description. I have an Instagram account at Johnny Strides, and there is a super thanks button appearing down below if you wish to say thanks that way. A northbound train will roll into this platform, unload, and then everyone will pile on, which is what I'm about to do. So thank you for watching, and I will catch you in the next one. Yoink.
As a reminder, this train is now a southbound train. This is a southbound train making all stops towards Bloor, Yonge, and Union Station. This is now a southbound train. Please allow passengers to exit the vehicle before boarding. Allow passengers to exit the vehicle before boarding, please. Thank you for your patience. Once again, this is a southbound train. Please allow passengers to exit first. Northbound service, make your way. If you wish to go north, please exit the vehicle, make your way upstairs. Shuttle buses are operating for your convenience. This is now a southbound train.